Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. Romans and I are both money guys, but we're also gamers, so we wanted to put this pod together to help gamers like us with some of their tough money topics that can sometimes feel as hard as a Souls boss.
We're talking budgeting, saving, paying off debt, and how to not fall for all the traps life throws at you.
Grab a health potion and let's start stacking gold IRL. This is DLC, a finance podcast for gamers. Welcome to Dollars, Lifestyle, and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. I'm Scruffy, and this is Roman. And today we're going to be breaking down Epic Games and how they have shown the entire world they have a $500 million problem. And they, after being the most successful game, the most successful story in gaming for years, are starting to hit some serious roadblocks for what may be the first time.
All kings must fall. All kingdoms, to dust you come, to dust you shall return. Is this the end of epic Fortnite? Oh my goodness. It's starting to I personally did not see this coming. I just thought
It's crazy because every game, every live service game that has come out has been doing something to try to capitalize on the magic of Fortnite. Like every live service game wants to be Fortnite. And now Fortnite is like, well, we actually have to make pretty big changes because Fortnite isn't working right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but we'll get into that.
I would not have guessed in my bingo card that this is a conversation, let alone an entire episode dedicated to the fall of Fortnite. Sponsored by Epic.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But please, Epic, if you want to use some of that 500 million marketing budget you're cutting, just slide one of those our way. That'd be great.
You're just gonna have to say how everything you said is wrong.
Yes, at the end of the episode. And that's the only clip we'll put out. That's the only short. Is like Epic's not going anywhere. Fortnite's the best company in the entire world.
Yeah. So what is this 500 million problem? What exactly happened this week?
Yeah. So what's pretty crazy is they just had another major layoff. So a couple years ago, I think it was like maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, they had like their first ever round of layoffs, which, companies do layoffs, especially video game companies. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of a lot of studios eventually lay off people to try to make profits. But this time, it's not just like you're laying off a couple extra developers. They are laying off over 1,000 employees. Over 1,000 people at Epic Games are losing their job.
That is an insane number. That's so many people. I don't know how many employees they have, but it was kind of crazy. It wasn't even 50% of their employees. It was like, what is that, 10% or 20%?
Something like that, yeah.
It's shocking that there's that many people working on Fortnite. Like that's insane. That 1,000 people laid off and it's not even half of them. I would assume that's half the company. Or half the people working on the game, but
I mean, if that just goes to show you how successful Fortnite has been up until that point, where a $1,000 or 1,000 person layoff is not like the entire company. So it's pretty crazy. But yeah, their CEO, Tim Sweeney, came out and basically said like, hey, we are overspending our revenue. We are not bringing in enough money to actually turn a profit. The most successful live service game is not bringing in enough money to pay for its marketing, its actual developer cycles. And it's really interesting because this isn't an AI play or anything. They made that very abundantly clear. The CEO was saying we're not replacing employees with AI. We just can't afford to have as many employees anymore because it's costing them so much money and Fortnite is not bringing in the revenue that it used to.
For a while there, though, Fortnite was everywhere. Any movie that came out, it showed up on Fortnite. Like, even right now, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mr. Hollywood, Mr. World's Most... By the way, his Moana look, not liking it. The next...
Oh, gosh, it's so terrible. It's so unbelievably terrible.
That wig is so tough. I think if we could call the future. I think Dwayne the Rock Johnson is about to hit the rock bottom, because that's the bottom line. Because Roman's Stone Cold Tetsu. I just that wig is terrible, and he's actually doing terrible in the Fortnite this season that's happening right now. It's supposed to be him versus some kind of Frost King or Ice King, and he's actually losing. The Rock is losing, and if you know anything about The Rock, he actually has a no lose contract. If you
Mm-hmm.
have him star in anything and anywhere, his character or whatever is not allowed to lose. So Epic
Yeah.
Fortnite had to add like a 20% buff increase to his character, but it's still losing
Oh
because
my god.
and I think gamers, we react to that stuff so harshly. Now that word is out that Rock can't lose, I can almost guarantee you we will make sure he loses. You can't
Mm-hmm.
you can't mess with gamers that way. If you're telling us something has to be a certain way, we'll make sure it goes the other way just to spite you. But also, I just think the design is off. I think the design for the Rock isn't as strong as the Ice Heat. The King, the Ice King just looks cooler. So a little bit of a design flaw there. But anyways, back to Fortnite. Man, for a while there, anything that was hot was in Fortnite, and I honestly think that I can think of, every rapper, major singer, major actor, almost every major actor. I don't think they've landed Tom
Yeah.
Cruise yet, but they've James Bond.
Multi-meta.
Every popular anime is in the thing. Like at
Mm-hmm.
some point, I actually thought Fortnite had the whole world in it. So, to
And they not too long ago, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, or something. They launched a major collab with LucasArts, where like you can build all these like super in-depth Star Wars worlds, build your own games. Like it's like this huge collab that they're doing, and then like what 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, and by the way, we're laying off 1,000 employees and cutting our spending budget by $50 million this year.
I honestly think it was the Roblox competition. Is I know you're gonna say other things to what the real issue is, but I think the real issue is Fortnite wanted to take down Roblox and is
Mm,
losing that battle of games made by people inside the ecosystem.
mm-hmm.
The Roblox community is just so strong. I don't think we have the numbers here, but I just have this gut feeling that those people who make games inside of Roblox, they're not translating into Fortnite, and there just isn't
Yeah.
enough Fortnite activity for people to play all these random Fortnite games.
Yeah.
But tell us the real answers besides my assumptions without any data.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest issue that Fortnite is facing is like they're actively losing players for the first time, like significantly. Um, so like for example, just in the year 2025, they lost a 29, they had a 29% playtime drop uh over year of like, so the average person is now playing Fortnite nearly 30% less than they used to from 2024 to 2025. That dropped 30%. And for a live service game, that is massively effective because it's less time in the games, less time seeing other people, less time browsing the V-Buck shop or whatever it's called nowadays. Uh, and you're not able to, you're just spending less time in the game, which means you're spending less money on the game because you don't have to have that latest collab that's dropping. You don't have to get the Fortnite, Nike, Yeezy, whatever dropped this week, or all the million traps to pour your money into Fortnite. Like people aren't necessarily spending the time in the game like they used to. And on top of that, if you look at their daily players, like which for a live service game is also incredibly important, their average daily player went from, in 2024 they were at over $2 million on daily players. The start of this year, they've been somewhere between 1.2 to 1.4. So that's somewhere between 600 to 800,000 people that were playing Fortnite every single day are no longer playing Fortnite.
I have a feeling it's just because they grew up and they're not pulling in the younger kids, the younger generation into Fortnite, because Fortnite has lost. I just think it's maturation. I think Fortnite thought it was immune to being a mature game, I think it's a mature game. I think it's 13-year-olds that were dropping every single dollar into Fortnite are now in
Mm-hmm.
college or graduating college, and
Yeah.
you just there is a point where you can't spend every day playing anything. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, the pressure of other games. You know, you and I love Marvel Rivals, so that's one that's competing for their attention. And there's just a
Mm-hmm.
whole slew of great free to play games to sink your teeth into that also have the newness to it. That I think for me
Mm-hmm.
for Fortnite, you know, I've only this is kind of a funny comment. I've only played the real version of Fortnite probably 4 times, like total.
Really.
Yeah, that's how little I've played it, and I can count the times because usually it was at my nephew's house, where he was playing. I'm like, I guess I'll try it. Like, you know, I'm there with a bunch of someone else's house, and it's like kind of boring. I'm like, I guess I'll try this Fortnite game. But how many times can you spawn in and start over again? Anyways, that's just
Mm-hmm.
me being a boomer gamer. I'm like, bro, I have to find the gun I just had in the last game.
Well, and it's interesting too because like when Fortnite first launched, it was like one of the major pioneers of the battle royale gameplay loop. Like there was not a ton of other royales out there. Now you can throw a dart at a dartboard and hit over 2 dozen different battle royales that are out there. You know, whether it be Warzone, um, Fortnite, Apex Legends, XYZ, PUBG, you know, whatever it is. Like there's a ton of battle royales out there. So, and there's more coming out constantly too. We just had the Fall of High Guard, which was another battle royale type of game, slightly different, but like there's new battle royales coming out constantly. There's like what was it? I forget what it was from the game dev, like a tactical waifu battle royale game or something like that. Like there's new battle royales being dropped like every couple of months. And if someone likes that type of gameplay loop, most of the time you're not going to be committed to one single game. You're going to want to go try out all the different options that are out there.
Yeah,
So
I think you were trying to think of Naraka Blade Point. Maybe was that the game you were thinking of? That's the
I
most
don't remember.
popular. That's the most popular waifu Asian inspired uh, battle royale game. A bunch of
Maybe. I don't
yeah,
remember.
and yeah. There are a lot of good. The problem is they're actually good too. They're actually good if you're into battle royales, which I'm not. It's not Fortnite's not
Hmm.
the only one. Actually, Apex Legends is probably the only one that I've actually enjoyed and I've played a lot of
Yeah.
all the dozens of
Well, you
battle
like
royals.
Destiny, so.
Yeah, is that real? That's not really. Destiny's not a battle royale though. But
No, but isn't it the same people? No, that's
nope.
Titanfall.
Yeah, yeah,
Titanfall is the
yes,
Titanfall and Apex are the
yeah.
same people.
Close. No cigar. Yeah, and so
But
yeah, so the life service. It's tough to keep that magic going for so many years. How long has Fortnite been out now? Like, how many years is it?
oh
Here.
gosh, I think it was 2017 cuz like I remember when it first came out and like I downloaded it. I was the
Wow.
first of any of my friends to download it in like beta. Back when like this is how old it was. Back when the Battle Royale was a beta for the survival version. Like it was a mass horde
Mm-hmm.
survival crafting game,
Yeah.
and the battle royale was just kind of something that they cobbled together and be like, here, this is what the game's going to look like, you can play it if you want. And that just blew up. And so I think it has been almost 10 years probably since it's been out.
Well,
And
you got to
go
give it
ahead.
to him though. For 10 years to make a game last that long, like that, that's impressive. I think most games are lucky to make it beyond 3 years. Some games hit 5, but usually only the legends. But they've
Hmm.
been at the top of the food chain for a decade. That's everybody, every product, every service eventually has its own lifetime value. LTV. You hear it on the show a lot. LTV. And I think what we're hitting as they finally found Fortnite's LTV. And not only that, I just think it's an aging player base. They're probably not doing enough to get the young kids into it, and
Hmm.
they're losing people just due to getting older, right? Like that means I was 34. I was in my mid 30s when Fortnite dropped. That's crazy. So yeah, so that
Mm.
means someone could have been 13 when Fortnite dropped, and now they're 22, 23.
Yeah. That's crazy,
That's a
man.
lifetime. That so much happens to a young kid in all in those early years. Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting you were talking about like the magic fading because that's also something that the CEO like touched on is like they have had a problem with like being able to consistently deliver like a magical Fortnite season where like they're having these swings where like some of their seasons are super successful, everyone rushes back to play them, and then other seasons just kind of fall flat and there's like no consistency in it. And for a live service game, like it's not like we're spending more money on one season than the other. They're spent probably every single season that Fortnite puts out. My guess is every single season is more and more and more money that they pour into it to try to bring more people into the game or to even retain those people. So having this inconsistency is really going to hurt them. And to the lifetime value comment, like there's only so many collabs you can actually do before you run out of people to collab with and you have to go back to the well. And that's not a good thing because then, okay, I've seen this before. Well, let me go check out this other game
Yeah, I don't know what it says that they have to pull in the Rock. Like I like the Rock in some
and
ways.
fail.
Yeah, but like they did they have BTS yet? I feel like they get everybody. I wonder if they got BTS is making a huge comeback. I never paid attention to BTS the first time they came around the corner, but I hear they're making big.
Yeah,
I'm curious. Calling it now. Fortnite
I'm not sure.
BTS coming to you soon. Get them skins. I can't even name a
Well,
single member.
they did a huge collab with K-pop Demon Hunters when that was, really popping. And I guess it still is to
They
some
did that
degree,
so
but like,
fast though. They did that collab
yeah,
with
it was like
K-pop so fast. It really shows you that's why they have 1,000 plus employees. They're able to pull something like that off so quick.
it was less than a month. You had those skins in game.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's interesting, and I think like they're all the CEO came out and said, "Yeah, we're spending way too much money," and it's a lot of things. Like, there's a lot for these live service, free to play games that are relying on like their point of sales for skins and stuff. There's a lot of hidden costs to games, especially a game as big as Fortnite. Like at when you're Fortnite, it's kind of reaching like the too big to fail type of game. But like you have to have massive dev teams. You have to have all these different servers across every single region that you're maintaining constantly. You're paying for. You have all like the constant patches, content updates, like bug fixes that you have to have people for. Every collab they do, there's not, other companies aren't collabing with Fortnite out of the goodness of their heart. Like there is some sort of licensing deal behind every single one of these collabs that they're doing. So that's more money that's going out. And on top of that, they've been in like constant legal battles with Apple and Google around how they monetize Fortnite. I think they just won the lawsuit not too long ago, but it was like a multi-year legal battle that they had been fighting for. I think it was like 3 years. That and legal fees are not cheap. Lawyers are expensive because they write and create a different language that only they speak, and they force us to pay them to translate the language that they created so that they could get paid.
Yeah, I, I want to know. I hope one day they release the numbers, but Fortnite just does deals with everybody. Man, they must really have figured out the magic formula, because there really isn't anyone that I'm aware of that they don't collab with. So there's a way that money always seems to make
Mm-hmm.
sense for everyone involved. Very,
Yeah.
very interesting. I would love. I was googling here if I could figure out how much The Rock was paid to be. But apparently, the Rock has been in it since chapter 3.
What?
Yeah, apparently this character is a returning character from was a secret skin in chapter 3, season 1, and I guess now we're in chapter 7. I guess season 2. I'm not sure.
I have
And
no clue, man. I haven't played Fortnite since like 2021 or
yeah,
something like that.
it makes more sense to me because I'm like, why are you collabing with The Rock now? But it makes way more sense that he was because he probably was super hot. He's not. He's
Yeah.
still something, but he's made a couple blunders here and there. And
Hmm.
this latest Moana movie, I cannot wait to see people's reaction. If you haven't seen his
Oh
wig,
gosh.
you need to see it. It is so good. Oh
And
man,
he
so
looks
good.
in the trailer, he looks so unbelievably awkward. Like it does not look like he's having fun. It's look like he's being forced to read these lines. Like the mouse is holding him at gunpoint. Like you will act in this movie.
I think he wants it. He should have given up the role to someone else. That would
Yeah.
have been the right move to do. Cause
Someone with hair.
or just get a better hairstylist. Because how did that ever pass? I forget what it's called, but there's a thing that they do to test before they make the movie with it. I forget what
Yeah,
it's called.
screen test.
Yeah, there's another word I'm looking for where they test not even they just test like image testing.
Oh,
They'll
like the focus groups
they'll
type of
do
thing?
some they would have put I assume they would have called a group together and say, "Hey, what do you think of The Rock as Maui?" And someone said, "Not with that hair." I guess those people weren't called in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. But I think it's interesting because like there's been a lot of, industry-wide gaming problems that for the most part Fortnite has been immune to cuz like all live service gaming in general blew up with COVID. Fortnite was one of the best positioned games during COVID. Like I remember when I was still in school for lockdown and like I would be playing Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone with my friends. Like those were like the three games we would be playing. Uh, and all three of those games aren't doing nearly as well as they were before. Fortnite was the one that was holding on to it the best. But just like I was in college then. I'm not in college now. I don't have the time to spend 6 hours on a week evening with my friends playing Fortnite. That's just like not physically possible. I have responsibilities. So to the earlier point, the wide gaming space is starting to move on a little bit from that time, and they're spending a lot less money on gaming, which I think is a good thing. If you're a gamer, spending money only on the games you actually enjoy and actually want to spend money on is a good thing. We're not just throwing money at whatever slop a AAA studio will throw at us. We're actually being wise with our dollars, and that forces gaming studios to put out quality, and that's good. But that affects these live service games that are capitalizing on automatically buying the battle pass no matter what is being released, and people are starting to get more picky. And there's just been widespread layoffs in gaming in the recent years, and this is something that up until I saw this article, Roman sent me this article, I think at the beginning of this week or the end of last week, and I was like, Fortnite isn't invincible. I thought Fortnite was invincible.
I just honestly thought they had a staple in the industry that just we as a culture can't live and breathe without it, but it's starting to show we can. But it's also a great time for indie games. There's been some really good
Hmm.
indie games that have come out in the last year to just apply that other pressure. And I think it's actually why the layoffs are occurring as well, because I think people are realizing you don't need a 5,000 team to make a good game.
Yeah.
Your game, your Expedition 33 was made with less than what, 60 people, 70 people,
I
some
think
number
they
like
had
that.
like 30 full-time devs and they had more than that like that worked on the game,
Mm.
of course, but like I think as far as like full-time devs employed by the company, it was only like 30.
Yeah, and then you have the other game, Silk Song. I think that was made with under 20 people. Like, there's just
Hmm.
these crazy games that are selling for millions of copies. So, even though people I do think are actually going outside and touching grass, the money is still being spent on gaming. It's more than just Fortnite. Like, how much V bucks do you really need? And or you could spend it on any of the other indie games that have come out that are like that game Dispatch. That game's crazy. I want to play that someday. Um, Blueprints was kind of cool too. There, the Hades 2 was a good game. That was another
It was a
sequel.
really good game.
Yeah, that was fun too. So it's just, or you could buy V Bucks. By the way, Dwayne the Rock Johnson has paid rumored $10 million to be in Fortnite way back in the
That's
day.
crazy.
So that's a lot of so all of you people who spent V Bucks, you just gave it to Dwayne the Rock, the Foundation Johnson. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, I'm very interested to see where they go from there because like Fortnite's not going away. Like this isn't like a nail in the coffin for Fortnite or anything like that. They're going to be just fine. They're reallocating and they've definitely lost a lot of momentum and they're figuring out where their new position in the marketplace is. Um, I don't think they're not going to be like they might still for a while actually be the reigning kings of gaming and be everyone wants to be like Fortnite, but like as there's a time limit to that because it's clearly like they are not just printing money like they used to, uh, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of where they go from there because laying off 1,000 employees, not only is that like negative because you have less people in the building, but like that affects a company culture when like you've been working with these people on your team and then up 10%, 20% of them that just up and are gone, that's going to affect the morale of people at Epic. I mean, I would imagine. So that's going to affect potentially the work that they're actually putting out. So it'll
And
be interesting.
it also increases competition because they didn't just lay off the 1,000 new people. They fired some of their long timers. I forget the name.
Hmm.
They fired one of their key devs that basically built Fortnite's infrastructure in the early days. He was part of the layoffs because now that he's
Mm,
built it, they don't need him anymore, I guess. And it's kind of going to be the same. I think long term, we're going to see the same effect that Disney did when they started laying off all of its Pixar employees. These people don't just stop doing what they're great at,
yeah.
they just do it either for themselves or for someone else. So you thought Fortnite clones was a problem? Wait until these 1,000 employees get jobs somewhere else and they have all the same keys to the castle, just like all the Pixar people did at Disney. And then they're gonna make some great movies, and Disney slash Epic will feel that wrath years from now. But the
Yeah.
other side to it is Epic is bigger than Fortnite. Like Epic is a super strong company. They're the guys who invented Unreal Engine, which even before
Hmm.
Fortnite was a big deal, and obviously after Fortnite is a super big deal.
Yeah.
So Epic as a company is doing great. I just think that this is a call. This is the canary in the mines that Fortnite has found its ceiling, and
Yeah.
it's finally flown as close to the sun as it's allowed to, and is coming back down to earth to be among us mortals. So yeah, tough. It's tough, but it had to happen. 10 years is a Epic will still go down in whatever history books of gaming. It will always be a major pillar. It'll be a long time thing. And something you were saying earlier, actually, it was a test feature, but they were just iterating on what PUBG Battlegrounds was doing, and Epic
Hmm.
Fortnite's team was just so much better as PUBG figured it out. Fortnite perfected. And honestly, I
Yeah.
think the only reason Fortnite is losing now is just due to LTV and just being an old game. I don't think there is the Fortnite killer game, just like there hasn't been a COD killer. The game to kill
Hmm.
Fortnite has yet to come, will never come. Fortnite is just dying because in gaming, 10 years is a very old game. That is a
Yeah.
90-year-old, like present day 90-year-old walking around saying, "Hey guys, want to play some video games with me? I got The Rock Johnson on here. Aren't we cool kids?" Epic
Yeah.
Fortnite has just reached Unk status. Welcome, 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 Fortnite to Unk status. We've been waiting for you. Have a great seat behind. I have a seat here. Uh, you're old. Welcome.
Congratulations. If you played Fortnite when it came out, you are officially old.
Oh yeah, 100.
Oh. Especially if you ever played the actual survival game and paid money for it. That was the craziest thing about it, man, is they had this free battle royale, which is what everyone was playing, and then be like, "Oh, and by the way, we have a survival game mode that if you want to pay $30 for, you can play that too."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Too bad
Crazy.
your zombie horde did not work out.
Yeah. Wild, man. But what's also crazy about that too is like they were able to use the assets from that in their like limited time Halloween event. So like it's not like Fortnite is those devs are brilliant. They are really really smart. They made an amazing game. This isn't like a knock on oh the devs got lazy. Like there's just only so much you can do. Like Fortnite if you can think of it, Fortnite has probably done it at one point or another. And if it worked, they kept it, and if it didn't work, they tossed it.
Well, they have their whole platform, their Roblox type engine, the
Yeah.
UEFN, the Unreal Editor for Fortnite that allows other folks to make games in Fortnite. I just think that they're losing to the power of mobile games. I think that's why Roblox has done so well. I'm a bigger fan of Epic Fortnite than I am of Roblox.
Oh, I
But
hate Roblox. It's
but
such a scummy company.
but Roblox, it shows you the power of mobile. All those kids on their iPads getting their brains. If they have if your kids have chat. Anyways, it's a sad day, sad day, sad day. But Fortnite is
Yeah.
losing to Roblox because you can build games and you can play games on your mobile devices. You can't do that on Fortnite, at least not at the scale Roblox can. And I think therein lies the rub. If Fortnite can figure that out, we could see a resurgence if Fortnite figures
Mm.
out how to create that same vibe that Roblox just seems to own. But I'm definitely looking forward to a Roblox killer because Roblox is just such a bad
Oh,
place to be.
it is.
It's tough. I'm glad my daughter
Yeah.
no longer plays. To be honest with you.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, if you're a parent and your kids aren't on Roblox, do not let them get on Roblox.
Yeah, and if they
Whatever
are
you
on,
do.
make sure you just turn off chat, turn off voice. Really lock down who they can play with as far as interact with. Even though a lot of games literally intentionally make that a thing. Just don't let your kids get groomed.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah. It's bad, man. But to the death of Roblox.
For ultimate democracy.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
Super
Managed
Earth.
democracy. Yeah,
Room,
managed democracy
yeah.
for
May the
Roblox.
Ministry of Truth take out Roblox. For any Helldivers fans, you got that. For everyone else, my bad. Bad joke. Weird joke.
Okay. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. So be sure drop a comment below. Let us know kind of if you played Fortnite, if you think it's still a game worth playing, or if it's kind of run its course. But until next time, this has been Dollars Lifestyle and Charity, a finance podcast for gamers. We'll see ya. Bye.
Bye.